All right, and we're live. So I think it's only fair that we maybe give people about 5 more minutes to file in. Um, and then I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen and the slides and then we'll begin. But with that said, if you want, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to the agenda in the chat. So if you want to look at what we're going to be talking about today, go ahead and take a look at that. And also because we will be approving it too before we move forward with the meeting. So I'm going to wait until 12:06 because I know we all have to probably be somewhere today, and then I'll go ahead and kick things off. But, oh, sorry, Carrie introduced herself, but I didn't introduce myself, so that would be a good idea. So hi, everyone. My name is Christopher Tung. I'm your Executive Vice President for Associated Students for this academic year. I'm glad to be here. I was in a position last year, and I really honestly didn't feel like my work was done, so that's why I came back for another term to serve you all. My position primarily deals with being in charge of the organizations and clubs here at PCC. So if you have any questions about registration or Lance for Life or Club Rush or anything that has to do with clubs, please let me know, and then I can go ahead and help you. Because we are remote now, typically AS has like office hours, but you can kind of drop into the office and ask questions of us. The alternative to that I am having is virtual office hours. So in the link of every email that I reply to, or in the link at the bottom of every newsletter I send to you all at the beginning of the week, there's always going to be a link to book me. And it's a service that once you choose a time, it'll automatically send you the Zoom link and everything. So it's taken care of. So if you ever need to meet with me, just go ahead and follow that link, choose a time slot, and I'll meet with you over Zoom and we can talk about whatever your needs are. So that's how to reach out to me. I'll go ahead and throw that link up in the description right now too. Carrie, I know you prefer email, I think. So if you have any questions that maybe you want to ask Carrie specifically, you can go ahead and email her those questions.
Chris, while you do that, can I show them something?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen. Oops. That's not working. Stop sharing. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen, but it's not working. So a lot of you, I see their names, but it's also really nice if we could know what club you're from. So if you go to your picture, whether it's your name or not, and you hover over the top right corner, there are 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots, and then there's something called rename. So you have the opportunity to go and put your name in there. A lot of folks also like to put their personal pronouns so that folks know. But it also would be good if you wanted to put what club you're from, so that way we can all see. So there, I just renamed myself, Carrie. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm from the Office of Student Life. So if you want to do that, I think that's actually really helpful for folks, so that we can see what clubs are here. Because usually when we're in person, face to face, we can see each other and say, hey, you know, Pineapple Club and Simba would really like to get together to do an activity. So now it's nice to know who, you know, which groups are with who. So take a moment. And it's also a good thing if you want to do that for your classes. So thank you all for doing that.
Okay, so I know we hit 12:06, so I'll go ahead and, not hold off on this any longer and start sharing my screen with the slides, and we can go ahead and start. So again, this is there is an error on the slides. It's supposed to say 9:04, but on the agenda, it's the correct date. That's okay. But welcome back to fall 2020. I'm glad for those of you who have been sticking with us last spring that you're coming back. For those of you who are new, welcome. It's a great experience, and we'll go ahead and just dive into it because we have a lot of things to talk about today. So first, we're going to go ahead and perform adoption of the agenda and a call to order. So with that said, I know this is a little bit tricky, the first meeting. So what I have done is I provided a visual kind of check-in as I'm doing it. So I'll be going off of the sheet on the agenda. So if you're here, please go ahead and unmute yourself once I say your club name and say you're here, and I'll go ahead and mark you as here or not here. So Amend.
Here.
Academic Support Club.
Here.
Alpha Gamma Sigma,
Here.
Astronomy and Physics Club, Astronomy and Physics Club, Caduceus Club,
Here.
Carp,
Here.
Catholic Student Fellowship, Chinese Students and Scholars Association,
Here.
Christians on Campus, Circle K,
Here.
Club Italia,
Here.
Diakonos, First,
Here.
French Club,
Here.
Green Lancer Sustainability,
Here.
Haunting Hour,
Here.
International Christian Fellowship,
Here.
Japanese Social Club,
Here.
here, okay. Lancer Motorsports,
Here.
Lancer Parents United, Math Success Club,
Here.
I think they're here.
here, okay. I think I saw them pop up too, so I'll mark them as here. OMD, Omicron Mu Delta,
Here.
6 months?
Paralegal.
Only 6 months?
Paralegal Club,
What do you mean?
Here.
You know how they have the.
PCC Economics Club,
Oh, we're all been having that since.
PCC Economics Club, not here. PCC Global Club, nope. Pre-Law Club, PCC Pre-Law Club,
Present.
okay. PCC Tech Ventures,
Here.
PCC Chu Ching,
Here.
Phi Theta Kappa, PTK, Pineapple Hospitality Club,
Here.
Psychology Club,
Here.
Puente Club,
Here.
Queer Alliance, QA Queer Alliance, She Codes,
Here.
SHIP,
Here.
Simba,
Here.
Splintered Minds, SWE.
Here.
Okay. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and I think maybe let me go ahead and just copy this link to the chat so you can review if I did this correctly. If anyone just joined us, please go ahead and feel free to check that out. If you are here, please just message Carrie privately so she can mark you, and I'll just move on, and she'll be dealing with that individually. But before I move on, I know there might be some people here that I didn't account for. I tried my best in creating this roll sheet. So is there anybody that I did not mention that's here that would like their name to be called?
Yes. InterVarsity Christian Fellowship?
InterVarsity Christian Fellowship?
Yes. You have International Christian Fellowship. There's an InterVarsity Christian Fellowship.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else in the same boat?
Chris, could you also add PCC RN Club? Thank
Okay.
you.
Anybody else?
I hear it's the Pie Club.
Pie Club? Oh, Pineapple.
No, it's the Pie Club.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
PCC Sockness.
Sackness. Okay. Next, if there's anybody left. Okay. All right. It looks like we have.
And
finished.
can folks make sure they look to make sure they were called as here?
Yeah, I threw that link in the chat.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, go ahead. But based on that, again, if I move on during the meeting and it's wrong in the spreadsheet, just let Carrie know and then she'll go ahead and attend to that real quick. But with that said, we'll be moving on. Looks like we have established quorum. So next we'll go ahead and adopt the agenda. And again, I sent that link out earlier in the chat and I sent it out in the email. So please take a look at that. I'll go ahead and share my screen super briefly here so that you can go ahead and also take a look at it. And then we'll go ahead and adopt this in the same way. So this is what it looks like. Just some action items, discussion items today. And yeah, if anyone has anything to say about that, let me know. But with that said, I'll go ahead and move on to adopting the agenda. And I know this is very tedious and I apologize, but this is just how it's going to be if we're on Zoom. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and ask for a vote to adopt the agenda. So amend, how do you vote? Amend? Okay, I'll go ahead and take that as a yes.
Sorry, my computer's working. Yay.
Anthony, can you repeat your vote?
Yay.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
Academic Support Club,
Chris,
Okay, yes.
Astronomy and Physics, I mean Alpha Gamma Sigma, sorry.
Yes.
Caduceus,
Yes.
Carp, Chinese Students and Scholars Association,
Yes. Yes.
Circle K,
Yes.
Club Italia,
Yes.
First,
Yes.
French Club,
Yes.
Green Lancer,
Yes.
Haunting Hour,
Yes.
International Christian Fellowship,
Yes.
Japanese Social Club,
Yes.
Lancer Motorsports,
Yes.
Mass Success Club,
Yes.
OMD,
Yes.
Paralegal Club,
Yes.
Pre-Law Club,
Yes.
PCC Tech Ventures,
Yes.
PCC Chu Ching,
Yes.
Pineapple Hospitality Club,
Yes.
Psychology Club,
Yes.
Puente Club,
Yes.
She Codes,
Yes.
SHIP, SHP,
Yes.
Simba,
Yes.
SWE,
Yes.
InterVarsity Christian Fellowship,
Yes.
PCC RN Club,
Yes.
Pi Club,
Yes.
SACNIS.
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like altogether we have approved the agenda. Thank you for that. And so next we're going to go ahead and approve the minutes from last meeting, last fall. I know it's kind of a distant memory, but you know, this is something that we have to do. So this is kind of an overview of what we went over last semester, and I went ahead and emailed this all to you yesterday afternoon. So with that said, does this
Chris,
look? Yes, Carrie.
for this, I'll let you do a vote by exclamation. So, because a lot of these folks weren't in this meeting, so they may not be able to say yes or no.
Okay.
So they can just approve it. You can just do all in favor, yes. And if there's anyone opposed, then we'll do no.
Okay.
You can do that by vote.
Okay, sounds good. So if nobody has any questions about this, I'll go ahead and switch back and then we'll go ahead and do a special vote like Carrie said. So all those in favor, I would like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes from 5/8/20. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Aye.
Okay, it looks like everyone has went ahead and spoken. So we're going to go ahead and take a moment now. For those of you who are opposed to this, please go ahead and mute yourself and say so. Nobody? Okay, if any of those of you who abstain from voting, please go ahead and mute yourself and say so.
I abstain.
Okay, and your name and club?
Macy, and it's haunting hour, just because I wasn't ICC rep for my club last semester, so I wasn't here for that. So I don't know.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to go ahead and record that. Anybody else abstain?
I abstained for the Caduceus Club just because I was an ICC rep last semester, and so I want to look over that.
Okay, anybody else?
I abstain as well for the Green Lancer Sustainability Club. I wasn't the ICC rep last semester as well.
All right, anybody else?
Me too for SHIP, and the same reason.
Okay. Is there anybody else after SHIP that would like to abstain from voting on approval of these minutes? No? Okay, it looks like we have a majority yes, so we'll go, that motion passes and carries. So thank you for going ahead and approving those minutes. So now we'll go ahead and get to the meat of things here. First up is executive board reports, and I have some of my lovely colleagues here that would like to go ahead and introduce themselves. And I went ahead and left up their email addresses here, so if you take a screenshot and contact them after the meeting, go ahead and do so. But yeah, if those of you who are here, no particular order, just unmute yourselves, your name and your position and what you do.
Very briefly.
Hey everyone, my name is Mackenzie Rivera and I'm the president of Students. And so what it is I do is I oversee the entire executive board and make sure that everyone is running things to the best of their abilities. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, my email is up on the screen here, and I look forward to seeing you all this year. Thank you all for being here during ICC.
Okay, thank you, Mackenzie. Anyone else from the board that would like to go ahead and unmute themselves and speak?
Yeah, I'll go next. Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine. I am the VP of Student Equity. I work very closely with equity programs such as CORE, Puente, Trio, and many other programs. But I am here to close all equity gaps. So if you all have any issues regarding equity or would like to just talk and see what PCC can do better to close the equity gaps, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Anybody else?
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly. I'm the Vice President for External Affairs. Basically what I do is that I communicate and connect your concerns with legislation and use that legislation to propel the agenda of PCC and PCC students to our representatives. So with that, I also want to introduce to you guys lobbying committee. If you guys are interested in bills like ethnic studies that would require community college students to take an ethnic studies course, or the Free the Period project, in which we try to reinstate menstrual products into our bathrooms, and also student loan servicing, where we try to kind of get more of a transparency with the student loan organizations. If you're interested in stuff like that and rallying and lobbying for those issues, and you have concerns and support in regards to that, definitely contact me. I'm going to go ahead and leave the application in the comments, or I guess in the chat. And if you want to, please definitely contact me and apply for that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Anybody else from the board?
I can go. Hi, everyone. I'm Louise Penlegan. I'm serving as your VP of Student Services. And what I do is basically I'm the liaison for the Associated Students Board and the Student Services. And I'm also a representative of the Student Voice. So that means I listen to you all and see what you would like to see be given to you in terms of student services, and also raising awareness for what we do offer you and resources we have at school. And yeah, same here, we have committees coming up, so our applications will probably be in the chat over there. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Luis. I'm just checking off my list here. So Kyle, Emmanuel, Christina, or Alex, if you're here.
Okay, I'll go next. Hi everyone, I'm Christina. I am the VP of Academic Affairs, and basically I am a liaison between the Academic Senate and the Associated Students. So I represent the students' voice on many shared governance committees, and I am also recruiting people for the Academic Commission. And so if you're interested in leadership as well as just sitting on a lot of shared governance committees that have to deal with instruction, please let me know. But yeah, nice to meet all of you guys.
Okay, and thank you for that. Alex or Kyle, if you're here, and Emmanuel.
I think I'm the only one left, so I'll go. Hey everyone, my name is Alex. I am the VP of Campus Activities, which might sound a little bit weird because we are not on campus right now to hold said activities. But that being said, especially now, I am in charge of creating new sorts of activities and ways that PCC can still stay as a community and still get to know one another. And I, as well as everyone else, am putting out my committee apps because since it is such a new experience in such an unprecedented time, I need a team to help me think of creative ways to hold activities, hold events, hold programs, things like that. So if you like event planning, if you like planning just in general, reach out to me to learn more about my committee. That being said, I think that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, I'd like to reiterate that committee applications for each of these board members will be coming out soon. So if you're interested in joining a committee, go ahead and email them personally, and they'll go ahead and get you connected with getting that application turned in. A committee is just a way for you to go ahead and voice your concerns kind of one-on-one with the student representative that you elected, for this year. So if you're interested, go ahead and email them and let them know and take a screenshot of this slide. All right. Thank you for that. But with that said, I'll go ahead and move on to my own board report. Before we proceed with any of that, just want to go ahead and, as always with all of AS meetings, recognize that we are on land of the Tongva Nation and recognize the Hahamanga tribe, those of us who came before us. So just going ahead and acknowledging that. Next is the calendar. So I've been sending out links in the weekly emails for you all to get updated as to when our ICC meetings are and the Zoom links and all that information. I know it's a lot of stuff, so that's why I put it into one file or one calendar that's shareable. It looks something like this. If you click on that link and you're signed into Google, and it'll go ahead and, if you add that calendar to your own, it'll go ahead and populate it with ICC meeting. And if you click on it, there will be a link to the Zoom for every meeting, so there's no confusion there. So that's the way I recommend going ahead and keeping updated with all these links. Every week I'll be sending out the Zoom links, but I know that gets buried. So a calendar is kind of a way to work around that. So make sure you add that if you haven't yet. Next is, I just hope everyone had a good summer break given the circumstances. I know things have gotten worse, but it will get worse until it gets better. I promise you that. I mean, even with that, I just want to go ahead and let you all know that ICC and me specifically will still be operating for fall 2020. But we'll be having to obviously modify standard operating procedure just because of the situation we're in right now. But hang tight. If you have any questions, again, I reiterated at the beginning of the meeting, you can always reach out to me to schedule a Zoom, or you can email Carrie and then she can respond too. But just to go ahead and move on, Carrie, with advisory comments, if you have any.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and be quick. I've got, Chris, I'm going to stop sharing yours.
Okay.
And pull up mine. Hold on a sec, sorry. Okay. Okay, can you all see that? Can someone wave and tell me that you can see this?
I can see it, Carrie.
Okay, great. So welcome to fall. As Chris has said, I've tried to put my contact information where you can find it. I am always available. What you can do is it's easy to email me. That way I'll know we can set up a meeting. But I will, if folks really want to, I can always set up office hours. So that way you can just drop in on a Zoom link. But right now, please just email me if you need me. Want to introduce you to our staff. I don't have pictures of them, but folks you should know, especially if you're new. Dean Rebecca Cobb, she's the Dean of Students. She is my supervisor, and she also deals with a lot of things on campus, graduation, student conduct, Title IX. She also deals with a lot of organizational pieces around the campus. So That's Dean Rebecca Cobb. The person you're going to talk to a lot, her name is Chanina Sturgis. Her name is pronounced Chanina. She is our front desk goddess, and I call her a goddess because she knows everything, everything. She used to schedule rooms and rooms for your club meetings. She also used to help you process your activity request paperwork. She still will be doing that. So reach out to them. The other person you're going to want to really get to know is Sharon Hinton. She is our bookkeeper. He does a lot of things he does the Cup of Culture. So that's a weekly show that he interviews different folks. And he's also a great person to program with and work with. Last person on there is Jordan Orozco. He's the student life assistant. He works part-time in our office and he knows everything as well. He's really great with social media. He's really great with our website. And he comes to us as having been AS president. He's now in, so he knows exactly, he was president of the QA club. He was AS president. He now comes to us, he's in a master's program learning about community development. So he's a really great person to know as well. We'll go into this more in depth with Chris, but what is Lancer Life? Lancer Life is our student engagement platform, and people wonder, what is that? And it's a place where students can find you. It's kind of a central hub. We call it Facebook for clubs. You can do so many things. You can publicize your events, especially now that we're so decentralized. This is going to be a great way that you can put your information up there about your event. You can write a news article. You can even track attendance at your events. It's also possible for you to hold student elections via Lancer Live. So there's a lot of things that you can do internally on the page. It lets you share a lot of information across your club members. It lets you have a discussion. It is also, I know folks are like, but we have Facebook, we have, Discord, we use Slack. As a club, that's great. But now what this means is that the public can find you. So we constantly get students who are looking to be involved. And so what they do, we send them to Lancer Life and they look at your profile. So it really helps if your profile is bright, engaging, and has lots of good information because students then want to join. So it's a way for new folks to find you. Really quickly, money. We're going to go in this more depth, but there are new rules. The biggest thing I can tell you is that you need to allow a lot of extra time. Mainly because we used to be able to handle things locally with signatures within our office, but now they are requiring us to go to another higher level, administrative level. So now we have to send our paperwork up to the C building, which means an administrator. And so that could add up to a week of time. So if you're starting to talk about money, you need to add some extra time into that, right? So the days of us walking a check through and getting you a check in 24 hours are gone. All reimbursements must have the original receipt. There's a new rule, just so you know. Minutes must be backed, all expenditures must be backed up by minutes from your meeting. So we just have to have minutes that show that your group approved this expenditure. Don't freak out. We're going to provide you a template. We'll give you this information. As always, all your stuff must be signed by your advisor, your president, or your treasurer. We are now going to probably end up mailing a lot of checks because we don't want a lot of folks on campus. So this leads back to the whole idea of what club activities, Carrie, what club activities can I do? And basically right now the answer is, as of the start of school, we cannot have any face-to-face activities. There are no activities on campus and there's no face-to-face activities. If your club, if I start seeing things on Instagram about your club having face-to-face things, I'm going to have to pull that back. Because right now we cannot officially be allowing you to do stuff face-to-face. It's not safe. I'm hoping as the governor moves us off of these different 4 levels that we're in, when we get to a lower level, then yes, we'll start talking about letting you all have face-to-face activities that are socially distanced. What you can do, Zoom meetings, speakers, activities. You can do a lot of things online, and that's great. You can also do things individually. So for instance, if you're a club that is about hiking, you can send out information about hiking trails that folks can do on their own or within their family or their bubble. You can send out things if there's yoga in the park. You can send information about that, but really you can't ask and organize groups together. Don't forget any activity. You still need to do an ARF and your advisor needs to be there. Right now, all of you as students have access to Zoom and you can establish meetings. Those meetings are usually only 45 minutes in length. If your club likes to go on for a little bit more, like an hour or so, work with your advisor to schedule a meeting using their Zoom accounts. As advisors and staff and faculty, we have Zoom accounts that are different and that will allow us to have long-term meetings. Okay. Advisor trainings, let your advisors know, September 21st and 22nd, I will be hosting advisor trainings. These are mandatory. All advisors have to attend, regardless if you've been before or not. Let your advisors know. I'll send out an email. We're going to have them at different times. Basically, this is the pandemic advisor training. What's going on, what's changed, what hasn't changed, and also introducing them to our Canvas shell. A lot of the things, the new rules that we're telling you that Chris is going to talk to you about training. We're creating a Canvas site so that way you all can go in there, have files on site. There are going to be videotaped training so that way you can watch these things. So that way you can always go back and you can send new people to that site. As always, if you have any questions, we're a little short on time, please type them in the chat and I'll get back to you. We can work with Chris for a longer time to do some more training, but I needed to get some of these pieces out there. That's my email. You can always email me and I'll get back to you. But like, if you have any questions for now about what I've done, please type it in the chat and I'll get back to you. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you for that, Carrie. So I'm not going to share my slide next because next we actually have public comment. I believe we have one person here who wants to go ahead and speak. Sheila?
Hi, Chris. Hi, Carrie. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm Sheila Rose. I'm a professor in the Languages Division. I teach ESL, and I'm here in my role as the Faculty Career Community Coordinator. And so my job is to work with a team of teachers and a student advisory board called the AKIPO to plan events that help to connect all of our PCC students to the supports they need to make an informed choice about what career and major they would like to study, and to make sure they have all of the academic and personal supports necessary to achieve their goal. So with that in mind, for this fall, we are planning a Career Communities Social Justice Conference that will be held on September 15th, 16th, and 17th. And we're going to have a lot of workshops by different areas on campus, including our Freeman Center for Career and Completion, our Transfer Center, and also our success coaches will be hosting identity panels to help students who are undecided figure out what their values and interests are. And the main reason I'm here today, other than to promote the event in general, is that one thing we would really like to do is have a panel, at least one panel, representing the clubs and organizations on campus and showing students how participating in clubs can link to a social justice mission. And so if you are interested in being part of one of these panels, please do contact me. I'm going to put my email in the chat. And it would be about a 45-minute panel, hopefully with maybe 3 to 5 people. If there are more than that interested, then we can hold more than one panel. Carrie, and Christopher, is it okay if I share my screen for 1 minute?
I'm good.
1 second, actually. So, oh, it's disabled, sorry.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Let me get back to share. So today, an email is being sent to all PCC students asking them to register for the event. So if you click on this register button, it will ask you some basic questions about the different areas of social justice you are interested in and what level of decisiveness you have about your future career and major. Once you do that, we will customize a list of different workshops and sessions based on your answers. So please do register and tell your friends to register. As an incentive, we will be having an opportunity drawing for a laptop computer, headphones and AirPods, computer microphone. So kind of all of the tech needs in order to be successful in remote learning. So please do send me an email if you're interested in participating and register yourself, and also tell your friends. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Okay, thank you for that, Sheila.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so Yeah, Sheila put her email address in there. So if you want to go ahead and attend that panel and help out, please go ahead and send her an email. But with that said, let me check the YouTube chat here to see if there's any other public comment. Okay, I don't see any. So we'll go ahead and move on. If anybody else has a public comment though, anybody? Nope, yes? Okay, no worries. I'll go ahead and continue sharing my slides. Next up is ICC announcements. So if any clubs want to go ahead and just make like a 5-second announcement on any upcoming events or programming, unmute yourself and do so now. Anybody? Yes, no, I know you're still in the planning stages, so it's not expected. Okay, no worries. So next is action items, which is a big one. So the way we're going to do it this semester, well, every semester clubs have to charter, and that chartering has to be approved by ICC. So kind of a little bit of background of why we're doing this. So this has to be for a vote. Typically how we do it is clubs would go ahead and come up on the stage when we had a stage, and they would talk about their club for 5 to 10 seconds, but to save on time this semester, I'm not going to do that. I am just going to read off of the list that we took during roll, not agenda. I know it says agenda here. And then we'll go ahead and make one big motion to approve all of these clubs to be for ICC for fall 2020. So with that said, bear with me here. I'm gonna go ahead and state the full motion in a complete sentence and read off of this list that I have here. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion to approve, amend Academic Support Club, Alpha Gamma Sigma, Caduceus Club, CARP, Chinese Students and Scholars Association, Circle K International, Club Italia, First, French Club, Green Lantern Sustainability, Haunting Hour, International Christian Fellowship, Japanese Social Club, Lancer Motorsports, Map Success Club, Omicron Mu Delta, Paralegal Club, PCC Pre-Law Club, PCC Tech Ventures, PCC Chuching, Pineapple Hospitality Club, Psychology Club, Puente Club, She Codes, SHIP, Simba, SWE, InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, Registered Nursing Club, Pi Club, and SACNIS for ICC fall, to be chartered for ICC fall 2020. And then we'll go ahead and move this into a roll call vote. So Amen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Academic Support Club,
Yes.
Alpha Gamma Sigma,
Yes.
Caduceus Club,
Yes.
CARP,
Yes.
Chinese Students and Scholars Association,
Yes.
Yes.
Circle K International,
Yes.
Club Italia,
Yes.
First,
Yes.
French Club,
Yes.
Green Lantern Sustainability,
Yes.
Haunting Hour,
Yes.
International Christian Fellowship,
Yes.
Japanese Social Club,
Yes.
Lancer Motorsports,
Yes.
Map Success Club,
Yes.
Omicron Mu Delta,
Yes.
Paralegal Club, Paralegal Club,
Yes.
okay, PCC Pre-Law Club, PCC Pre-Law Club, PCC Tech Ventures,
Yes.
PCC Chuching,
Yes.
Pineapple Hospitality Club,
First semester has maybe
Psychology Club,
Yes.
4 o'clock.
Puente Club,
Yes.
She Codes,
Yes.
SHIP,
Yes.
Simba,
Yes.
SWE,
Yes.
InterVarsity Christian Fellowship,
Yes.
Registered Nursing Club,
To do maybe
Yes.
3 o'clock.
Pi Club, Pi Club, SACNIS.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Congratulations. Those of you who I called and are not absent today, you are part of ICC.
Chris,
Oh, excuse me.
Chris, this is Carrie. So just saw in the chat, Christians on Campus is here. Can we,
Make a special motion for them.
yeah. And is there someone else that needed to add anything?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm from PCC Global Club, and I was trying to log in through my computer, and the microphone just like it doesn't work. So I switched to my phone. Can we still add our name to it?
Okay, so the way we're going to go with that, we're going to go ahead and do it like we did with the minutes because I don't want to read through this entire list again. So I'm going to go ahead and say Christians on campus and who else?
PCC Global Club.
And Chris, there is a little thing, people can vote yes by clicking the positive. There's a chat. If you go to the chat, if you all can just, for this motion, if you just click yes or no, and then we'll know.
Carrie, I don't think it's easy to keep track of that. I'm just going to do it the way we did it.
Okay.
Okay, so with that said, I'm going to mark them here as a special vote that we did separately. All right, so at this time, I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion to approve Christians on campus at PCC and PCC Global Club to be a part of ICC Fall 2020.
Yes.
So all those in favor, say aye. I'm going to wait 2 minutes for all of you to do that.
Aye.
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 Okay, sounds like we're all done. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break here. And any of those opposed? No. Any abstain? Nope. Okay. All right. Motion passes. Go ahead and mark you as charter fall 2020. And next time, just for future reference, just everybody in general, just try and log into the meeting early. So if you have any technical hiccups like this, you can let me know early on and we don't have to make another motion or anything like that, but just for future reference. Okay. So next slide we're going to go into, which is also an action item, is nominations for ICC funding. I would like to go ahead and state that funding will work differently this semester. And so I am opening nominations now early so that we can go ahead and get the ball rolling on this. As Carrie said, there's going to be kind of a special procedure, as I took a screenshot as she was presenting, and all these things that we're going to have to do. But the way this is going to work, we're going to open nominations. People are going to nominate themselves, and we're going to vote who's going to become a part of this committee. Now, this committee is going to meet after every ICC meeting on Fridays. Every day there's an ICC meeting from 2 to 3 p.m. and they will take care of funding as it comes. So we are not having one big meeting anymore like it is in the usual semester where people turn in all the paperwork gets processed in that one big meeting and we etch out a budget from that one big meeting. So it's going to be piecemeal this time. So just keep that aware if you want to go ahead and nominate yourselves. I put the time here as you should be available after the ICC meeting 2 p.m., 3 p.m. And if you want a reference for which days, it's going to be every day we have an ICC meeting. So not today because we're opening nominations, but I would anticipate we're starting on October 2nd. So October 2nd, 2 to 3 p.m., October 16th, 2 to 3 p.m., and so on. So are there any questions about this before I go ahead and make a motion to open this nomination? Yes, no? I'll talk about it more in discussion items, but yes, Jasmine?
Yeah, I motion to approve.
Okay, all right. So that was a motion. But does anyone else have any questions before I go ahead and make an official motion? No? Okay, no worries. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion to open nominations for the ICC Funding Committee for Fall 2020. Again, this is going to be the second to last thing we vote on today. So bear with me here. So Amend, how do you vote?
Yes.
Academic Support Club? Academic Support Club? Alpha Gamma Sigma?
Yes.
Caduceus Club?
Yes.
HARP?
Yes.
Chinese Students and Scholars Association?
Yes.
Christians on Campus?
Yes.
Circle K?
Yes.
Club Italia?
Yes.
First? I think
Yes.
okay. French Club?
Yes.
Green Lance for Sustainability?
Yes.
Haunting Hour?
Yes.
International Christian Fellowship,
Yes.
Japanese Social Club,
Yes.
Lancer Motorsports,
Yes.
Math Success Club,
Yes.
Omicron Mu Delta,
Yes.
Paralegal Club,
Yes.
PCC Global Club,
Yes.
PCC Pre-Law Club,
Yes.
PCC Tech Ventures,
Yes.
PCC Chu Ching,
Yes.
Pineapple Hospitality Club,
Yes.
Psychology Club,
Yes.
Puente Club,
Yes.
She Codes,
Yes.
Ship,
Yes.
Simba,
Yes.
SWE,
Yes.
InterVarsity Christian Fellowship,
Yes.
PCC Registered Nursing Club,
Yes.
Pi Club,
So I will send you.
Yes.
and SACNIS.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Motion passes unanimously. So nominations are now open. I'll go ahead and have another vote when we close them and start voting people, which will be at some of the future meetings soon. So thank you for that. Next, we're going on to discussion items so I can get you out of here. But this is probably the most important part of this meeting today. So I'll go ahead and talk about this. So ICC operations, as I stated during executive board reports, we will be modifying standard operating procedure. And the way I'll break this down in the slides, in the next slide here, so you can have a reference, I will talk about how things used to be and how things are now. But if you're a new club and you have no idea how things used to be, just focus on the right column and I'll talk about how we will proceed. So typically next up after Club Rush, which will be next week, our virtual Club Rush is launching next week, we have an ICC retreat. And this ICC retreat is going to go ahead and train you all on how to do club programming, fill out forms, get funding and whatnot. That will not happen as usual this year, obviously, because we can't go on campus to Krevling or any classrooms at all. So the way we're doing this, Carrie and I and Jordan, the advisors I work with, are going to be launching the training on Canvas instead. And it's going to be in like Canvas modules that you're going to go ahead and, just like any class you're in right now, watch the videos or read the document and take a quiz on it or evaluate yourselves on it. It's going to be asynchronous or synchronous. Carrie told me that I got the terms mixed up, but whatever. But it's going to be the idea that you can take care of these learnings on your own time. So you can, if you're in the middle of the night and you have nothing better to do, I guess you can start it up and watch the video and take the quiz and come back tomorrow and take another quiz. So there's no timing or anything, but we just want all of the materials to be checked off by a certain date. And this is still in the works, but it is still moving forward. So just letting you know that that's how we're going to be treating ICC training. I did have some people reach out to me, some clubs reach out to me and ask about how do I change this on Lancer Live or how do I add an event on Lancer Live? So that is something we're going to cover. In fact, I actually have a list of scripts that I went ahead and made. I just need to film these and get them to the people that manage the Canvas site. So that's something that's still in the works I'm aware of. But if you have any individual needs that you need help with and you need to change like your roster right then and now, schedule and book a meeting with me. I sent that link very early on in a chat and I can show you how to do it via like Zoom screen share. But are there any questions about ICC retreat before I move on to the next thing we're changing? Yes, no? Okay, no worries. Next, we're gonna talk about funding. So funding, usually you would turn in a big fat packet with all of your events and a line item sheet, meaning like a little spreadsheet of what you plan to spend money on. And the committee will meet to produce a budget, just one big long meeting to produce a budget. And then you as the clubs through that spreadsheet know how much money you got for the semester and you can reclaim that money or I guess get requisitions for whatever you paid for your event through a little half sheet that we have. This semester is going to be different to allow everybody to be more flexible and agile because it seems like new news is coming out every day about how we're supposed to do things. I'm implementing kind of like a just-in-time funding philosophy. So whenever you need money, is going to be when you can come to the meeting after ICC, to the committee meeting and talk about, and present your paperwork, obviously, and talk about what you need money for and how you will spend the money. So it wouldn't be one big fat meeting anymore. It will be just a meeting after the ICC meetings, whenever we have one, that your club can come and talk about the money it needs. Carrie went ahead and talked a little bit about this too. I'll pull this picture up, but the procedure is going to be a little bit different. Carrie, I know you said you're talking with Student Business Services on how we're going to do things this semester, and it's going to be more of an administrative level. So if you have any questions, please ask her. And don't worry, we'll cover this during the ICC trainings on Canvas too. But if you have any specific questions, you need money like right now, let us know and we can help you with that. Carrie, I know you did a lot of stuff about funding, so I don't know if you want to drop in a comment or two here.
Yeah, the main thing that we're still working through as a whole college is how this process should look. And we're running into the logistical pieces, such as who signs where. And I just found out, I assumed that all students had Adobe Acrobat or Adobe DC, so you could have the sign feature, the signature feature, and it turns out none of you do. So we're trying to work through these things. It's great to have an idea, but oftentimes the reality is different than the idea. So we're just going to ask that you be patient and you work with us. The more in advance you can let us know what you want to do, even as you're planning that, contact me, because I'll be quite honest, we're developing procedures that as we go. These are new things for us. So if you think you're going to be doing something, feel free to reach out to me, make an appointment. Let's sit down and review the activity. That way we can figure out what processes I need to create to make this seamless for all of you. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you for that, Carrie. So yeah, it's something that we are working on, but it's something that we are aware of. But for now, all you need to know is how the committee will handle it, and that is one meeting after every ICC meeting. No more paperwork packet, no more big fat meeting that the committee has to attend. So that's the long and short of it. Are there any questions about money or funding? I'll talk about stimulus next, so if that's a question that you have, I'll cover it. But is there anything besides that about money? Nope. Okay, next is stimulus funding. I know this is kind of a big hot button issue for a lot of people. So stimulus funding, the way you know you are eligible is if you check this document that the committee approved last semester, all highlighted here. If you are in this list, you're eligible for that initial $150, no strings attached. So that's how you know. The way we will go ahead and take care of you being able to access this money is we will have a special form on Landswipe. It's not up yet, but we will have a special form on Landswipe where you will turn in requests specifically pulling from that $150. So that's the way things are going to go, and we will check. So if your club is not a part of that list, we won't reimburse you. So that's how you know that you will be able to be eligible for this money. There are restrictions on using this money. I mean, you can't just spend it willy-nilly, and this is kind of specified in the document here. You can't give out scholarships, so you can't self-enrich. The money will stay with AS, and it will be dispersed from the AS account. So you don't have to do service hours for this, but up to my discretion, we might change that if we are allowed back on campus. Not likely, but for now, just no strings attached. And so things like that. So are there any questions about stimulus funding or anything like that? Yes, no? Nope.
So I have a question.
Okay.
How do we get access to this? Is this going to go towards our first event and that's how we request the stimulus funding, or is it going to be a separate transaction or like form for the stimulus check or stimulus funding?
So the way I understand this, and Carrie, correct me on this if I'm wrong, but it's just a floating amount of money that that you can apply for the entire semester. So it's just like we're depositing $150 into your bank account, and you can spend it on whatever you need for your club, barring scholarships and self-beneficial stuff. So that's the way that I anticipate it's going to work. Carrie, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
Pretty much that's it. It's we're keeping it on the books for our purpose. You don't get it into your account, and this money will go away. So you have $150 credit. This money will go away at the end of the semester. Actually, I will go away the week before the end of the semester. So December 7th. If you don't spend it by December 7th, it's gone.
Okay. Yeah. So spend it while you have the opportunity to, but don't go spending it obviously on. Just use common sense. Don't give it away. Don't give yourself scholarships. We're just things are like, as Carrie said, we're kind of adapting to things as they go. So this is where we're trusting you as the clubs in your expenses, even though you will be turning it in to do them on a in an honest manner. And this will be a committee approved thing too, so we will check this. So if you have any questions or if you have any concerns about what you're asking money from, please approach us and we can help you.
Yeah, I would highly suggest you check with me or Chris or I before you go and spend this money.
Yeah, and I just threw it up the link to the document in the chat. So if you want to evaluate if your name is on that list or not, just click through and you should be able to check that out. Okay, so I just want to speed things along here. So service hours, it used to be whenever you're asking for funding, it was kind of a 1 and 2 relationship where you would get the money, and for every $100 we budgeted you for, you would have to do 5 hours of service. And then those documents would have to be turned in for proof, and that would be reviewed by committee. So obviously, because we're operating in a limited capacity this semester, not everyone can go out, not everyone is comfortable going out, and it's not safe to go out. This is something that's also still in the works. We are pending consideration of rolling over hours from the previous academic year to spring 2020, but that is something that the service hour committee is going to decide. Just for reference, we just opened nominations for the funding committee. I will also open nominations for the service hour committee, and this is something that will be discussed in that committee in depth. So if there's any incentive to join, this will be it. You get to kind of decide, how we're approaching handling this data that we have from previous semester of how many hours you did, and moving forward with that. So, do hours if you can, but we're not pressuring people like we do, in previous semesters to complete like 5 hours for $100. At most, this is something the committee will discuss, right? But it might be a compromise. I don't know yet, but just keep your minds open for now on this front, but it's something that we're aware of. Is there any questions about service hours? Yes, no? Okay. Next is club meetings and programming, and this is kind of, a longer topic, but I broke it down into steps. So step by step, how you used to do it, you would plan for an event, and then you would kind of plan at the same time whatever money you needed for that event. You would turn in an ARF about 4 to 6 weeks in advance. Chanina will reserve a room for you, and your advisor must be present for that meeting or event or whatever you're doing. After the event is over, you turn in a little half-sheet requisition form and you get your money back if you paid for suppliers during the event. Now it's different. So you are going to plan for an event, including any funding required. So that step is not any different. But you're going to have to go through the committee first, so you have an idea of what you can spend and what you cannot spend. So you will attend that just-in-time funding meeting that the committee has after the ICC meeting, and then you will get a final amount that you are, set on that you can use for your event that you can spend. You would then, after that, turn in an ARF via Landslife electronically because we can't do paper forms now, and then you'll go ahead and claim your money after that. Now, I want to kind of go ahead and dive into step 3 a little bit more in detail because that's kind of the most important and where I see a lot of people kind of snag up on. Your advisor must be present for any meeting or event we do, even if it's virtual. It's for your safety, for insurance purposes, for legal reasons. Your advisor must be present. In this electronic ARF form, we will also be asking not only for which advisor will be present, but a link to your Zoom or your live stream, so that if Carrie or I ever need to step in and just want to see what's going on, we have that information. Or if anybody asks, like a student asks, we have that information that we can provide to them. So that's going to be a little bit different from the regular area. You're going to have to turn in, the advisor will be present, and also a link to the Zoom. We will also probably make a requirement for you to post this publicly on Lancerlife. Carrie talked about this. It's kind of the online platform where we have all of our clubs and events. So that's also going to be another requirement we build into this electronic area. So this will be gone over in the Canvas training. But I just want to give you like a basic layout of, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the new 1, 2, 3, 4 we're doing. So are there any questions about that? Carrie, I know you want to add to this.
Just understand that, sorry. Just understand that right now, I mean, we're all trying to be flexible about this, but the big thing is there's so many people who want to become involved in clubs. So it's really, really asking you to embrace Lancer Life, because that's a way that we're going to be able to get it out. So many folks have different ways of letting people know, Instagram, their Twitter page, whatever they're using. But this is a way that the whole college can find out what you're doing. So really, I know it's hard to learn a new piece of software, but if you all could embrace that and be mindful of that. So that way we know what's happening, because like whenever we do any of the publication, remember we used to do, for those of you that are new, we used to have all publications approved through our office. And right now we're not doing that right now. And so we're not able to check for information. So the things that students always, number one question students ask me, I saw this really great program, but I don't know where it is. I don't know when it is. And I don't know who to contact, because when you look at the flyer, it says voter registration day, come do this, this, and this on this day, but it doesn't tell us where, when, and how to contact folks. So really that's what Lancer Life does. So please, take a look at it. There's a lot that it can do for you. It's a great way to really showcase your club.
Yeah, and the way I kind of like to express it, not to kind of sell you on Lancer Life, but it combines a lot of things that people typically have needs for, like email marketing. You don't have to sign up for a MailChimp or a CRM anymore. You can go ahead and blast emails out to your members from Lancer Life, and it'll take care of that for you. You don't have to do an Eventbrite anymore, because Lancer Life has a mechanism that allows you to RSVP students. So it combines a lot of different things, and I noticed like a lot of features, but we will distill that down into the Canvas training that's coming up, and we'll talk about how you can use those features to your advantage. So with that said, I want to move on from this discussion item. There's no other questions. Oh, Simba, you raised your hand, right? Mute yourself and ask.
Hi, I just have a question. Do we need to come to a funding meeting if we're just filling out the ARF for a regular no budget meeting?
No. If you're not asking for funding, you need to attend that meeting.
All right, thank you.
I mean, it's publicly open if you want to observe, but it's not a requirement. Are there any other questions?
I just have a question. So for Haunting Hour, we've had trouble getting in contact with our advisors. And so should we just keep on trying to contact them if we want to have meetings, or what is an alternative?
So basically you need to make contact with your advisor. So everyone who put their names on when you registered, you need to let them know what's going on. You need to just ask them, and maybe you ask them politely, just wanted to confirm that you still wanted to be our advisor because we're starting to do activities and events, right? And if they get back to you and say that no, they're not able to because of their time constraints, then that could be an issue. Then we'll have to ask you to find a new advisor and suspend activities till you can find an advisor.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, you should always have a relationship with your advisor, but strengthen that bond, the relationship that you have during these times, because they'll be the person that you look to for administrative advice.
Yeah.
To be running your meetings or supervising your meetings specifically.
Yeah, okay.
If it's not working out, try your best to find someone else. Just because
Okay.
it can be a sticking point for you, you can't get through to them.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Any other? Just one more question, if there is any, before I move on to the next semester item, because I know we're a little bit over time here. Okay. So, to kind of put a positive note outside of the negative I guess things that we've been talking about, there's been lots of dialogue about what might happen or what might not for sure happen, or we can't guarantee, but this is something that definitely is happening, and it's kind of the fruit of Carrie and me and a couple of other people's labor, is the virtual Club Rush website. So I will post this link in the chat after the meeting is over, so hold your horses, but this is live right now. This is the final website and how it looks like, all your beautiful faces. We listed the clubs here. We went ahead and embedded the YouTube videos. So you can go ahead and look at that on your own time. I think, if I'm right, we even timestamp these videos. So you click through, there's a little timestamp of when each club appears. So this is how it looks like, and this is what we will be launching next Tuesday officially and sending out to students. With that said, the link I'm going to be sending you, please share that. You, as the clubs, are going to be one of the ways we market this to students. So please share it out on your social media, your Instagrams, your Facebooks. If your club has a Facebook page or whatever, promote this. It's for the good of all clubs. But I want to also talk about other ways we're marketing this. So I've emailed JAM, the Pathways people, Sheila, I emailed, who is a part of career communities, and I've emailed one other person who's a part of economic workforce and development. So those are kind of the ways that I want to be transparent that I am, giving this link out to and telling the market towards. So we will, don't worry, we'll get exposure on this website for you. That's pretty much the long and short of it. With that said, though, I want to go ahead and remind you all that your Lancer Life profile pages should be populated by next Tuesday. And what I mean by populated is it should be full of content and information and links and pictures and stuff, because if you look at the Club Rush website, when we go ahead and click join here, I'll have to pick on Simba. But okay, great. They're a great example, because if I click through, you can see they have pictures, they have a really thorough description. And you click on you click on the link there, they have a link to their Facebook website. So I want everyone to use this as an example, so to speak, and get your pages populated when we launch this, so that when students land on your page, it looks appealing and it looks inviting to people. And just to remind you all, I've been sending out emails about how to do this. There's actually a little 5-minute YouTube video on how to go ahead and talk about this and post pictures and post videos and stuff. I will send this out in a weekly newsletter next week too, as a refresher. So if you haven't done this yet before we launch on Tuesday, take your Labor Day, Monday weekend and do this real quick, because it will improve and boost your site's appealingness and visibility. But are there any questions about this virtual Club Rush website or anything like that before I move on?
I have a comment about the Lancer Life page.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we get emails to say, oh, this person wants to join the club. And when I go accept them, they kind of disappear, like as if they've never asked to join the club.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like we've lost a couple of people that way. Is that going to be a problem for next week?
So the biggest challenge is that folks like to use their preferred email. So if they emailed you saying that they wanted to join, if they have an email listed in there, I would double check, because this is this program unfortunately only recognizes go.pasadena.edu. So they might be there and you might try and add them, but then they don't get the message or they disappear because they're not with the right email. So if you talk to folks, remind them to use their go.pasadena. I will ask the company when you click that join button, I'll ask them to maybe see if we can add a phrase in there that says, please use your college email not, your Gmail or your Yahoo account.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you for that question, Jasmine. Jasmine asked for the link. I'll post that at the very end just because I want to go over one more really, really important discussion item before you all look at this page and pick it apart. But are there any questions about this virtual club rush thing, Lancer Life? How to populate your page, how to accept members and stuff? And I think maybe to your point, Simba, I know actually a couple other clubs have had this question too about how to accept new members and problems accepting new members. So I think maybe I will at least have a written document going out in the weekly newsletter next week about how to accept new people and how to ask people to join your club. So hopefully it kind of guides you through resolving that issue or working around it. But are there any other concerns?
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
So for the virtual club rush, how long are you gonna have the link opened? Is it gonna be like the whole time so you can access it whenever you want, or for a certain amount of time?
We're leaving it up the whole semester long.
Okay, thank you.
It's so beautiful. Chris did such a good job. It's going to be up there for a while.
Yeah, and I think in a way it's a little bit, the one advantage of this over a physical club rush is that because it's up all semester long, some students might register late or they might not know about this until really later down the line. So they can really honestly look at this anytime that they have they're free. If we have a physical club rush, it's kind of like 1 week and we're gone. But this being up all semester, I think is going to be beneficial for students. But are there any other questions or concerns?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
For InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, we turned in the paperwork, but only our advisor is on the page. The officers aren't, and I don't think we can change the page.
So what happened is, I don't think your club re-registered. Your club is still open to be registered. So whoever wants to be the primary contact should go there, and you go under clubs. And Chris, you want to show that screen while I'm talking?
Yeah, I mean, I guess since this is a big concern, I'll go ahead and show people how to edit the roster right now, or a basic overview.
No, she didn't. They're not registered yet. That's the problem. So they need to go to pull up Lancer Life, would you? You need to go to the page for Lancer Life. You need to go to organizations. And then register an organization. Oh, well, you can type it in. And your InterVarsity.
Yes.
Click on InterVarsity. And look at the bottom. Oops, Chris. Well,
No, sorry, it's registered organization.
yeah, because you're an admin, so you got this. Yeah, so go to InterVarsity. So do you see how it's blue?
Yes.
You need to click on that and you need to register, and that's where you input all the current officer information.
Oh, okay. And then we can edit the page.
Yes, I actually meant to tell you and International Christian Fellowship, you both actually technically haven't registered because I still don't, that button is still blue. So technically you should not be registered today because that is not complete. So please do that today.
Okay, I didn't know that. So
RN Club too. So Chris sends out a lot of good information in his newsletter, and I'll have him put up the link if you're not getting his weekly newsletter. He gives you some pretty good instructions.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. I will put that link at the very end of the meeting. I don't want to dig through it right now, but I know we're kind of short on time, so I will go ahead and if there's one more question, if not, I'll move on. No? Okay. Next discussion item is something that is kind of that I'm passionate about, and it's something that I wanted to express to you all. It's this thing about privacy in Zoom, and specifically some software, some concerning software that some professors are starting to use right now for test taking. So for those of you who are not in classes that use this, I've received word that a lot of professors are starting to use a software called Proctorio. And that software is to supervise you essentially while you're taking a test. And the way to supervise you is you have to turn your camera on, and it tracks your eyes and your movements and everything that you do on your computer. If you look down too much, it will flag you for cheating. If you look off to the side too much, it might flag you for cheating. So this goes into a whole plethora of issues, I believe, of privacy, of people that have disabilities, of people that don't feel safe, you know, when their camera is on. So this is something that I want to go ahead and gather feedback on because I have a captive audience in the form of ICC. So I wanted to know real quick, and you know, you don't have to if you don't want to, but has anyone experienced a professor pushing the software on you that it's a necessary requirement of Proctorio or any monitoring software?
My chemistry professor did.
Okay, you can share your experience or not. Do you want to, Noah, or do you?
Yeah, sure. So she pushed us on it, and we, you know, are required to install it in order to take any of the quizzes. And I hate to speak against it because it sounds like I'm trying to like defend cheaters or something, but I mean, you know, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. But like, there was another Proctor software, which is not the one, Proctorio, which is what most of the professors at PCC are using, but it was hacked recently, and it was like massive like privacy concerns and stuff. And so I'm kind of hesitant to just go around installing software that has access to my webcam, to my microphone. It can see what's on my screen. It can record everything. You know, it tracks my face and all that sort of stuff. And so, I mean, I'm pretty privacy conscious. So maybe this is something that's important to me, but not really to other people. But that's kind of how I feel about it.
Anyone else have an experience like this or want to share an experience like this if you want to? Okay, no worries. Well, I will kind of go ahead and push my argument on this and kind of wrap this up. But here's some basic facts, you know, because there's a lot of hearsay on social media and stuff. There was a pilot program over the summer that a group of instructors and deans were in on about this proctorial software. So it exists. But the concern that associate students and my colleagues had were that students were not in on this conversation, if it was okay, you know, to monitor them, what the implications were. So that's something that, you know, I was kind of disappointed in, and I want students to have a conversation and take part in. The academic senate is aware of these concerns now that it's been brought up by the rest of the board and my colleagues, and they actually want to go ahead and open up a meeting where students can come in and talk about their concerns and their experiences. So if you have an opinion about this, and it's not to say I don't want this because I want to cheat, it's more about privacy concerns, right, and safety concerns, because I think there's been a lot of instances in the past where we trust companies with our information, our data, only to be betrayed. I mean, look what happened with social security numbers and like Equifax, right? I mean, that stuff is massively impactful for people and losing their identity and everything. So with that said, I want to go ahead and open up a mailing list, a special mailing list for all of you if you're interested in taking part in this conversation. So go ahead and type in your emails in the chat so I can go ahead and put you on that mailing list and get in touch with the teachers and instructors that are talking about this. Okay, so with that said, just one last thing here before I go ahead and close this out. I mean, just kind of, you know, a last argument here. I know typically students, US students as college students, we have been socialized to be beholden to teachers in the classroom being kind of the dictator. Like if the teacher says you have to use proctorial and surveillance software, you have to, otherwise you'll fail the class. But for me, it's definitely not that way. It's a two-way street. You should have a voice in how things are run too. And this is kind of my way of reaching out to you. So you actually do have a voice as college students in the shared governance procedure on campus. So if this is a concern of yours, please send me your email. I'll forward it along to the right people so that you can go ahead and sit on a panel of students to join on the conversation about whether we should have the software or not. But with that said, I'll wrap this up because Carrie does have to go. Future agenda items and meeting dates. September 8th, 2020. So we will not be having a meeting next week. but we will be having a meeting the week after that. So again, click on that Google Calendar link, add it to your calendar. I'll go ahead and at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 1:24 p.m. We'll go ahead and just speed through this because I know Carrie has to go. So all in favor, say aye, and I'll go ahead and wait a few minutes here.
Aye.
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 Hi.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, any opposed, please unmute, speak up. Nope, any opposed? Any abstentions? Nope, okay, meeting adjourned at 1:24 p.m. I appreciate you all for coming. I'll be monitoring this chat, adding this to my list here. I'll go ahead and throw the link up for this virtual Club Rush website right now, so you can go ahead and check it out. But you are free to go if you don't have any other questions for today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, I gotta go, so we'll talk later.
Yeah, no worries.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Chris, good meeting.
All right, I put that link up in the description, and I'll go ahead and scan through this list here.
Chris, are you good? Do you need anything?
I'm good. Sorry, I know Carrie had to go, so I didn't allow you to talk about this privacy thing, but I just wanted to wrap it up. So
All good. I think we got
those are people that want to be on this conversation.
Yeah, I think we got that really good response on